If women want to serve in combat, they need to pass this new standard. Okay, and it should be gender and age neutral, which means you either make the standard to get into combat MOS or you don't. Sorry. Thanks for showing up. Bye-bye. Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode. Live from the Lair. And today we're going to be talking about the new PT standards that the Army is rolling out here. First, I'm going to talk about the old PT standards that I had to deal with when I first came in. All right, so the PT test used to, consist of 3 events: push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run. Okay, the 18 to 21-year-old standard was 82 push-ups, 92 sit-ups, and 11:54 on the run. I have never in my life run the 2 miles that fast. My best time ever was 12 minutes and I believe 6 seconds. I have maxed the push-ups for years and come very close to maxing the sit-ups for pretty much my entire military career. In fact, for many years, I would max push-ups, max the sit-ups, and then run like a 13:30 and still get a 275, 280 on the PT test, which was good enough for government work in my day. On top of that, there was the airborne standard. I believe it was 8 chin-ups. And the Special Forces standard was 8 chin-ups and climb a rope. And then you had to do a combat swim, 50 meters in full uniform. Maybe it was 100 meters in full uniform. Okay, and the combat swim for the Rangers was full combat gear. They push you into the deep end, and you have to be able to swim to the side while wearing your LBE and keeping your weapon under control and bringing all your equipment and yourself to the side without them having to fish you out with a dummy hook. Okay, and then on top of that, there was the Infantry Standards, which is, 12-mile ruck march full gear, 3 hours or less. The Ranger Running Standards was 5 miles in 40 minutes or less. I believe that was also a Special Forces requirement back in the day. Now that's all above and beyond just the standard PT test. Okay, and I remember I had to take 3 of the PT tests just to get into the 2nd Ranger Battalion. I had to score over a 265 on each of them. And they wouldn't even look at you. You had to have a 265 minimum. So I was able to, pull that off. And it was fairly difficult. I was able to swing it. I did a lot of martial arts. I lifted weights, 3 to 4 times a week, on top of doing the regular Army PT. So, back in the day, if they had rolled out, these standards they have now, it probably wouldn't have bothered me that much. Now, why are they doing this? Well, they're doing this because of women wanting to come into the combat MOSs. Okay, now I'm not the only one out there that thinks this is a terrible idea. Okay, now, do I think all women should be banned? Not really. But if they can pass the standard for men and be able, pass the standard for men for combat and they want to do it, more power to you. Now, I don't really think that's a wise policy for us to have. I understand that the Army has now become basically a social experiment. And instead of, gambling a couple touchdowns, a scored hockey puck here and there, they're gambling with people's fucking lives, arms, and legs. Okay, now, I'm not telling you... Well, all right, I'm just going to be honest. All right. I was an ops sergeant for civil affairs for about 10 years. Okay, I was in special operations for 22 before that. So I didn't really deal with a lot of women when it came to PT or serving alongside women at all for 22 years. And I was Ranger Special Forces Airborne Paratrooper. But when I came over to civil affairs, holy shit, was it a fucking nut roll, man. Okay. I recall countless women showing up, all eager to be in the military. And probably 15% of them passed their PT test on a regular basis. All right. There were some women that were just constantly getting pregnant and profile for 4 or 5 fucking years. Okay, they're undeployable. You can't do anything with them while they're pregnant. And then they're on profile when they get off for X amount of time. And then by that time, they already, got bent over and another one fucking put in the oven. It's just fucking stupid. I'm a firm believer that if you ladies want to serve in the military, part of enlisting is get an IUD. Fuck you. And then you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can go to on the mattress marathon Olympics. You're not getting knocked up. And if you don't catch any herpetogonosyphilis, drive the fuck on. You're only hurting yourself. But you enlist in the military, you get knocked up. You're a drain on the medical assets. You're not deployable. You're not supporting the force. And, you're just basically a drain on the entire system. Now, you can hate me if you want. That's fine. I'm just telling you the truth here. That's, what I'm doing.
Zuck the cuck drinks water like a duck, but he also drinks your data. So tell him and Google to shove your data up their schwing-schwangs by downloading the Brave browser. It's free, blocks online advertising, and protects your privacy and data from evil tech companies. You only see ads if you want to see them, and you get cryptocurrency for your attention. Don't let Zuck use you to make a buck. Download Brave by clicking on the link down below.
I recall quite a few women that would show up when they're 18, right out of basic, and they pass height and weight. And then they go and then they sign into Michigan State, University of Michigan, University of Detroit, or any of the crazy patchwork of colleges we'd have in either Michigan or New York. And they would gain their freshman 15, their sophomore 20, their junior 50, and then their senior 70. I mean, and by the time 3 years has passed, there's no way they're passing height and weight. They're going on permanent profile. It's just a fucking clusterfuck. I can't tell you how many women went on permanent profile and they would do the push-ups and sit-ups and then do the 2 or 3.5 mile speed walk, and they would still barely fucking make it. Now, I think I'm trying to remember what the standard was for the women. I believe it was something stupid like 18 push-ups, 32 sit-ups, and then they have to run like the 2 miles if they're 18 to 22 or 23, like in 1640 or 1720. That's shameful. Okay, I mean, those are just terrible physical standards. And then, when you're going up against one of these females for promotion to E5, you're a male, you better max out your PT test. Okay, that's the only way you have any chance in hell of actually getting promoted above the female who shows up with a shoddy PT test on permanent profile, been pregnant for, 2 to 4 years, is behind on her schools. It's absolutely sickening, the favoritism that is given, and they call this affirmative action. And it's affirmative action if you want to destroy the force. Just going to put it at that. Okay, it absolutely disgusted me, and I was powerless to do anything about it. And there was a couple female soldiers that were just beyond fucked up. I tried to put them out of the service, and the packet would go up to KPOC or USA and get turned back as a denial. They wouldn't even fucking throw these chicks out. Now, a lot of these women, I would take steps to get a bar re-enlistment, put in their file, get them flagged, so they couldn't at least re-enlist unless they passed PT. And most of the time, they didn't pull it off. So they would just do their one and they would do their one and done and go, they would get discharged and be on their merry way. Good riddance. All right, now I'm just telling you how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fucking kill a messenger. All right, I've seen it way too many times. All right, so the new PT test apparently is supposed to be gender and age neutral. All right. From what I hear, there's 3 different bands. Like the first band, you could serve in basically support MOSs of certain types, medical MOSs. The second one is like I think artillery and some other semi-physically demanding MOSs, and the top band is for combat MOSs. Now, how they're going to shake that out, I don't exactly know as of yet. I saw a couple standards that were coming out when I retired. I've been told that they've changed 2 times since, so don't hold me, my feet to the fire on this. All right, so apparently you're going to start off with the deadlift, okay, and you're supposed to be, it's 120 to 420 pounds. You're supposed to do 3 reps inside of 5 minutes. Okay, when I was 21, I could do 420, 460, 480-ish. That wouldn't have been much of a problem. But to play it safe, so I wouldn't screw myself on the rest of this, I probably would have done like 350 or 380. Okay, that probably puts me somewhere in the top 85 percentile, which is good enough for government work. Then you do a standing throw with a 10-pound medicine ball, and you throw it over your head backwards. So you're basically, the measuring tape is to your back, and you throw the medicine ball over your head. You get 1 practice throw and 2 for record in 3 minutes. I don't know what the distance is. It's probably somewhere anywhere from 10 to 30 meters, because most people aren't throwing 10 pounds over your head more than 30 meters. I would probably do somewhere in 20, 25, just, in my younger days. Nowadays, if I trained for this, I might be able to pass it like once, but. Okay, now this is the ball breaker here, and this is actually fairly important because this next one also has aerobic strength, aerobic endurance and strength. Be able to sprint and simulate moving under fire and moving a casualty. Okay, so this one's going to be tough. And you have to do this in 4 minutes. And there's basically, it's a 25-meter there and back course. And I believe you have to go back and forth 5 times. One's a sprint. Okay, one's a drag a sled. And I think it has 180 pounds in it. Okay, run a lateral shuffle. Then you have to carry 2 40-pound kettlebells, and you finish with a sprint. Okay, that's a smoker right there. All right, and I believe this was put in here because one of my biggest fears when I was in Iraq, and they tried to assign this 118-pound, blonde-haired, blue-eyed hottie with missile tits to be my driver. Good-looking woman, nice as hell, smart as a whip, but I did not trust her to be able to haul my ass out of a vehicle if it was on fire and I was incapacitated. It just wasn't going to happen. So I actually had one of my dudes, Jones, drive for me when I was put on this fucked up detail, which I swear to God, they're trying to get me killed. But that's another story. I already covered that. Okay, next one is a leg tuck. Now this one would be tough for me because I never really trained for this. I was just a sit-up guy. That's basically you hang from the pull-up bar and you lift your knees to your elbows as many times as you can in 2 minutes. I don't know what the standard is for a max on that. It wasn't in the article that I read. Okay, then when you get done with all that, you still have to do a 2-mile run for time. And the max is 20 minutes. Anything beyond 20 minutes, you fail. Okay, so, and all of this has to be done in 50 minutes or less. Okay, if your PT test goes over 50 minutes, it's null and void. You got to do it again a couple days later. Does that suck? Yes. Now, I'm looking at these standards, and I'm seeing the older guys at the tail end of their careers not being able to make it. So I'm seeing the Army going from a place, or the military from a place you can retire from, to a place you do, 4 to 8 years to get your GI Bill and whatever, and then get out of the service to go on to the next thing. Because I'm gonna tell you, once I hit 40, this shit got really fucking hard for me, especially because I'd been wounded several times. I'd been injured probably half a dozen times in operations. Crashed a helicopter. I had a fucking bunch of bazillion. I probably had 4 to 6 really sketchy parachute landing falls. I missed the rope on a fast rope. Fell 60 feet into a swamp. I got kicked by a horse. I fought for 10 years in the ring. I've been crushed between pallets on a C-130 on a touch and go landing. I mean, just a bazillion of fucked up injuries that happen when you play rough like that. And having a 33-year career with these PT standards, it's not going to happen. Okay, if you're going at 18, 28, 38, by the time you're 38, you're really feeling, especially if you've spent any time in a combat MOS. Most guys in combat MOSs, their bodies are wrecked in 8 to 10 years. I got lucky because I took the supplements. I did a video about that, with the glucosamine, the chondroitin, the vitamins, all of that shit, the stretching out, I did it the right way. And I was able to, add a lot of longevity to myself in regards to a military career. And the fact that genetically I've been gifted with being relatively indestructible. I've had a dislocated shoulder, dislocated hip, sprained both knees, sprained both ankles, 3rd-degree sprained ankle on the right. I got some lower spine damage, upper spine damage, but that didn't happen until I got blown up. I was fine up until that point. I got the TBI, the headaches, the whole fucking deal. But, if these standards existed, I probably would have had to bow out at like 25 years max. Because this is some crazy ass shit here. And I fully understand why they're doing this. Because the military is fighting back to it being turned into a social experiment. And they have to do what they have to do. Now, moving forward, with all of the millennials who are fat and out of shape, who are stupid and can't pass the standard ASVAB to get into the service, and a lot of them are saying, "Fuck it, I'm not going to fight for this country." And basically, you can be mad at me if you want. I look at this from a whole different fucking generation and a whole different viewpoint, but I call it the coward card. It is what it is. Okay, you can get pissed, you can say whatever you want, that's fine. This country, blah blah blah. I've probably had to deal with this one question about 100 times since I started this. About, I'm a mindless drone, I'm a lackey, and I go do all this fucking, stupid shit for government, whatever. Listen. Every fucking war that has ever been waged has been done so over a stupid fucking reason. Or some fucking greed. They wanted more land, they wanted more resources, whatever. They've all been fucking fucked up. Even World War II, you could dial it all back to France and England refusing to fucking do anything when they had a chance of stopping Germany. And they didn't because they wanted to play it safe, and then they got fucking trounced on. And then we had to bail them out. And the Soviets had to do a majority of the dying to get that done. And that worked out for the whole fucking world. And we're all basically living in an age, where we live in fear under the atomic bomb. That's just the way it is. But hey, I digress. But yes, like I said, if women want to serve in combat, they need to pass this new standard. Okay, and it should be gender and age neutral, which means you either make the standard to get into combat MOS or you don't. Sorry. Thanks for showing up. Bye-bye. All right, and it's not sexual harassment. It's not sexual discrimination. Men and women are built differently. Men have bigger bones, faster twitch fiber muscles or nerves, faster nerve induction. That's it. Bigger hearts, bigger lungs. More blood volume. You name it. That's what we're built for. We're stronger. We have more endurance. That's just the way it is. All right. I can take a 135-pound man and I could fucking smoke the shit out of him day in and day out, and he will perform. And how do I know this? I was that 130-pound motherfucker when I first came in. Okay. It is what it is. You take a 35-pound chick? No. She might be able to pass the standard once. She can't do it day in and day out until you get wounded, killed, or the conflict ends. It's not going to happen. And it's going to be a big drain on everyone else. People are going to be worried about you. They're going to carry your weight, which is going to slow somebody else down. It's just a bad fucking idea. All right? And I really hope we can unfuck this whole thing before we have to put millions of people in the dirt if we really get into a big stand-up, knock-down, drag-out brawl with another country with, a military capability similar to ours. All right, that's my rant for the day on the PT test. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take it easy.